Good morning, straight from Hope Ministry Sanctuary. Pastor Ralf Friedrichs here. Blessings to you all on another beautiful Sunday given to us from God. I want to share this morning with you facing the sunshine and avoiding the shadows. Looking at life through clean windows. My friends, one morning while a couple were eating breakfast, the young woman saw her neighbor hanging the washing clothes outside. That laundry is not very clean, she said. She doesn't know how to wash correctly. Perhaps she needs better soap powder. Her husband looked on, remaining very silent. Every time her neighbor hung her washing clothes out to dry, the young woman made the same comment sitting at the table. A month later, the woman was surprised to see a nice clean wash on the line and said to her husband, "Look, she's finally learned how to wash correctly. I wonder who taught her this." The husband replied, "I got up early this morning and cleaned our windows." So you see, so it is with life. What we see when watching others depends on the clarity of the window which we are looking through. So don't be too quick to judge others, especially if your perspective of life is clouded by anger, by jealousy, by negativity, or unfulfilled desires. Friends, judging a person does not define who they are. It defines who you are. I am sure that most of us are guilty of doing just what the woman in the story did. Judge something going on or judge others through a subjective, personal filter, the dirty window, rather than an objective, fact-based filter, the clean window. When we are judgmental, we operate from a reactive frame of mind. We tend to be critical and look through fault in situations, ideas, or people, and we tend to use labels with negative connotation, such as bad, stupid, flawed. Jumping to conclusions and making assumptions is very common then. I feel for many, being judgmental is our default mode when something happens. We are quick to judge without knowing the full story or all the facts. Think about this. We see a child throwing a tantrum in public and begin, among other things, assessing parental skills, don't we? We see someone on the street corner holding a sign asking for money, and we begin to judge their livelihood, criticizing a lack of work, maybe ethic. We experience an unwanted or unexpected change and begin, among other things, talking about why it is unfair and won't work. When we are judgmental, we are overly critical in an unhelpful way. We become the woman in the story I just talked about. Judging the neighbor's laundry based on the view from a dirty window tells us that when we are judgmental, we separate. But when we approach things with understanding, we grow. So what can we do to move ourselves from being judgmental to being more understanding? Well, we need to be more open-minded. And we can do that. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is intentional, focused awareness of one's immediate experience. It is being grounded in the present moment. When we focus on the present moment, we become more aware of what is going on around us. When we aren't being present, we can become the victim to being judgmental. The more we can focus on here and now, the present moment, the less likely we are to counteract judgmentalism. We need to be self-aware of our reactions to situations. We need to take full notice when when our thoughts are more critical and negative, or when we let our feelings and emotions guide our reactions to things. When we need to ask, why did we go there first? When we can recognize our judgmental actions and understand where they are coming from, we are better positioned to shift our responses to more positive, open-minded ways of looking at things, because we need to look beyond the tip of the iceberg. When we see something, or hear something, or have something unexpected or unwanted, things will happen. We often have such an immediate reaction that we failed to see or try to discover the full picture situation that is out there. We don't always know what led to them. My friend tells me, and every day I am reminded, and the message is strengthened, things are not always as they seem. In fact, things are very often quite different from how they seem. We need to be kind, be patient, be understanding, be loving people. We often have no idea what those around us are experiencing in their life, just as they likely have no idea what we are going through. We must first seek to understand before jumping to conclusions. We must seek God's guidance. Friends, we need to look, examine, and feel the person's pain before we accuse them of anything. Because from a perspective of judgmentalism or one of understanding, we need to make that decision. The more negative, critical, or scornful, the more we are judging. The more positive, respectful, and supportive, the more we are operating from a godly perspective of understanding. We need to be more self-confident. We often become judgmental because it makes us feel better about ourselves. However, when we believe in ourselves and are solid with who we are, we don't need to make judgments about others to elevate our self-esteem. Absolutely not. So we need to be curious, because curiosity is when we are eager to know or learn something. When we are inquisitive, when we are curious, we are more open-minded, objective, and resist jumping to conclusions or making assumptions. Curious people are more likely to look to understand situations before passing judgment. They are more tolerant of ambiguity and uncertainty. Rather than seeing the fault in the situation, they focus on getting to the root cause of the issue and then attempt to deal with the situation creatively and making that person get the help that they might need. So we all need to practice a pause when we take a break or stop in thought and action. Friends, it is very priceless to just take a minute to see the pain of other people. So pause before assuming, pause before accusing, pause whenever you're about to react harshly, and you'll avoid doing and saying things you'll later regret. If we pause before speaking with or taking an action towards another person, we give ourselves the opportunity to engage our brain before our mouth, resulting in a response which will be more meaningful and respectful to the other person. Friends, let God guide and direct you starting today, starting now. Someone said, before you assume, learn. Before you judge, understand. Before you hurt, feel. Before you say, think. Assuming, judging, and hurting are characteristic of judgmental behavior. Learning, understanding, and feeling are characteristic of more open-minded behavior, more Christian-like. Think how much better our lives will be, as well as the lives of those that we encounter, if we can understand and not judge them. How would your life be different if you stopped making negative, judgmental assumptions about people you encounter on a daily basis. Let today be the day that you look for good in everyone you meet and respect their journey. If we can respect what is happening to us and to those we meet on our life's journey, what a difference we can make for everyone. We need to make sure our windows are clean before we respond, react to, or pass judgment when we look through those windows. I always remind folks, treat others as you would want to be treated. Allow God to guide you, direct you, and appreciate the gift of life from our awesome God above. Friends, may God always bless each and every one of you, wherever you're watching me in the world or listening to me. And I ask you to walk through your life with Jesus Christ in your life. The only judgment